Hi, it's Kat. Here are all of the sketchbooks I've ever drawn in. As you can see, there are a lot. So today I'm going to be giving you a tour on all of my sketchbooks and journals, and while I do this, I'll be giving you some reasons why you should make art, even if you think it's quote-unquote bad. Let's get started. So not all the pages have drawings in them because they're either blank or just have writing, so I'll cut that stuff out. So by showing you the progression and the evolution of my art and my skill level, hopefully I can show you in real life that improving your skills is really attainable. It just takes practice. And this brings us to reason number 1. You can only improve your art by making art. And I know this might seem really obvious, but a huge mental block that causes some people to not make art is this expectation of creating some amazing masterpiece. And obviously, if you haven't been practicing drawing, you're not going to create a masterpiece. It's as simple as that. Intentionally creating bad art gets rid of this expectation of quality, and that helps you get straight to the creating part of making art. Getting over this almost fear of making something unattractive is the only thing really stopping you from progressing and improving. Don't create this whole unrealistic expectation of greatness when it's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to accept that maybe you didn't create the best drawing, but it's important to take that to move forward and see what you can improve on. That way, you make art, and by making art, you practice and improve. I think it's also important to recognize that the quality of the things you make might not always be consistent. Sometimes, certain things are easier for us to draw than others, and we'll stick to the things we're good at. Don't fall into this trap. Even though drawing something outside your comfort zone can sometimes result in a rendering you're unhappy with, doing this is how to get better. If we just stick to drawing the same things over and over, we limit ourselves in our artistic capability. I think it's really easy to just pick one thing you're good at drawing and be tempted to just draw that one thing over and over again. But I really think that increasing your skill as an artist comes from drawing new things that might seem too difficult at first. Personally, I found that when my skills as an artist started to improve, I stopped being so afraid of drawing unfamiliar things. I started to be able to trust myself and my ability to create something that I'm happy with, no matter the subject. And while practice doesn't always make perfect, practice definitely makes progress. Art isn't just about the end result. When making art, it is so important to separate the effort from the outcome. And this is tricky even for me because making art can seem like it's all about the end result, but it's really not. Yes, the final piece is a part of it, but creating art is kind of for its own sake. It's really easy to get caught up in the outcome of a piece and forget the process of creating it. And this is a difficult mindset to overcome because we can't really measure the process or the effort. As people, we oftentimes just see what's left over. But it's really important to overcome this kind of thinking because it's really easy to get discouraged when you're not satisfied with the results. Because you can really only control your effort. From my personal experience, when I focus on the process and the effort I put in instead of only the end result, the experience of just creating becomes so much better. And to do this, you have to let go of perfectionism. Instead of trying to redraw that one nose over and over again because it just doesn't look right, move on. Create something else. Getting stuck on one frustration keeps you just that, stuck. Leaving an imperfect drawing alone and then moving on to create more art is so much more beneficial to your overall progress. Art is personal. When you make art, it should be for you and your own enjoyment. When we make art, it's not usually being entered into a huge competition against all the great artists in the world for people to judge you. That's crazy, but it's also the kind of thinking I was having when I first started making art. And that kind of mindset creates huge pressure. A pressure to sort of impress or be validated by other people. And honestly, this was something that I struggled with. I used to be constantly asking others, like, oh, do you like it? Or showing them things I made in order to get this validation. And I still do show my work to other people sometimes, but it's more because I'm proud of what I've made rather than a way of looking for approval. And genuinely, when I stopped looking for these outside confirmations that I was, quote, good at art, the process of creating art became so much more fun because I was, and am now, only doing it for my own fun. The art you make can be and is for you and you alone. You never have to show anyone anything you've made. And there's a huge freedom in this because it lifts some of this pressure to create something aesthetically pleasing. In truth, art should never be about that. Make art for its own sake. Art should be about you, the creator, and I think that's really meaningful. A big part of making art is learning how to be comfortable with failure. Creating bad art and accepting it is honestly one of the most empowering things you can do. Because it's not the failure that's important, it's what you do afterwards that matters. And how do you do this? The key is to separate your self-worth from the quality of the art you make. To learn how to fail and still be able to understand your own worth is so important. Not only in the artistic world, but in almost all other parts of life. And it might sound cliche, but when we understand that it's okay to fail and it's okay to make bad art, there really isn't anything stopping us. And this is really powerful, because a fear of failure is a lot of times a huge stopping point for people to just do stuff. Someone who fails and tries again makes so much more progress than someone who's too scared to even try because they don't want to fail. And by practicing this acceptance of failure or making mistakes within a low-stakes situation like creating art, you start to build this positive mindset that translates to other parts of your life. And by trying again, and sometimes again and again, you start to build this resilience for future challenges and start to improve your skills as an artist. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed my take on why you should make art, even if it's bad. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.